Hello and welcome to a very short episode, a single player episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. It is the holidays as well as the off season, so not a lot has been going on. But I thought your lovely host, Havokpus, would indulge in a bit of just going over some stuff, talking about some recent results, as well as maybe rambling a bit on other things. So, I think my first bit of news is going to be CSGO at the Blast Pro Series Libsyn. The team played pretty well. They didn't get to the final match. They were one game away, I think, from going to the final match, but they ended up finishing third. Golden is still experiencing medical issues, and so they ended up getting Refresh as a stand-in. His name is spelled weird, but I think how you pronounce it is Refresh. And honestly, I'm surprised at how well Refresh played individually, as well as how the team played with him. We were able to 2-0 MIBR in FaZe, two teams that we have always sort of been rivals with, and kind of always needed to always beat just for the sake of pride. And then we were able to... We went 1-1 in the second day, I believe, and we were one match away from going to the final match. But we lost, and it was unfortunate. But the team actually played fairly well. I think Keo and Flusha are looking really good and really getting in the groove with the rest of the team. And Refresh looked good. People were actually asking to maybe get Refresh signed, and I think that might not be a bad idea, especially with how Golden is constantly experiencing these medical issues. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. There has been a lot of transparency in terms of what he's dealing with, why he's having to take so many medical absences and stuff like that. But if one of your players is constantly having a medical leave and stuff, it might be a good idea to just take Refresh, just for the sake of having a full roster that you can actually utilize and not having to worry about always finding a stand-in. This has been a real big problem for the majority of the year for Cloud9 CSGO. And hopefully either Golden gets better or we just pick up Refresh. Pick up someone is maybe just like a sub 6-man, so you don't have to constantly get these stand-ins to come in, even with the sort of the handled 5-man roster. But yeah, I was impressed with the results. I hope that they can continue to kind of keep this momentum and play well. I think right now the HLTV standings we are number 16, which is pretty good. I think we were way lower in the rankings before Libsyn. So yeah, good job for CSGO slowly getting back to form. The next event is the Rainbow Six. I believe it was like the United States Championship, I believe. I can't remember what exactly it was called, but Rainbow Six was playing, and they were looking on fire. I was actually surprised and impressed at how far our Rainbow Six team has come since we first got them. They were looking really shaky, and I think really struggling to get results when we first signed them. But the team has definitely come into their own, and they looked really strong. I think Laxing and Foxe especially, they were killing it. I think those guys were really good. We were 1 point away, I think, from going from semifinals to the finals, and there was just one mistake, and it messed us up, and we lost, and that's really unfortunate. But I think had we not made that mistake, we would have gone to the finals. And I think I'm just proud that the Rainbow Six team is able to participate this well, given how rough they had starting out on Cloud9. They also have been participating. There was a match that happened recently for this online tournament. Goddess actually wasn't playing. They put in someone else. I'm not sure if Goddess couldn't make it, or we're trying out someone new potentially to rotate in for Goddess. I'm not sure what the situation on that was. Um, I just remember they were playing, and then like, oh hey, by the way, someone is standing and forgot us. I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm not sure, why, but they won. They 2-0'd their match against, I can't remember who it was, but they look good still. I'm hoping that the team can continue to kind of play well and maybe even win a few more events. If they can win a few more events, that would be really great for them. Um, I have nothing to say on Rainbow Six. I apologize. I don't know that much about Rainbow Six. It's really interesting to watch. It's great to watch. It's sort of like Counter Strike meets Overwatch, and it's really fun. I don't know that much about it though. I think the final event, like I said, there hasn't been a lot going on recently. The British Hurricanes, they 3-1 Angry Titans. And this match was purely for seeding, I believe. I think they had already qualified for the playoffs, and this match was purely for who would how the seeding would work. And they 3-1. I think the team has been having some trouble with the goats comp, um, especially with you lose Kib and Fusions. We brought in Numlocked and I can't remember the other person who we brought in, but we brought in some new people because two of our best performing players essentially stepped up to the Overwatch League, which again is probably exactly what the British Hurricanes team is kind of for, as well as just an honor that our players are going on to bigger and better things. I think that says a lot about the British Hurricanes and the Cloud9 organization as well. But yeah, I think that the team has finally gotten a handle on the goats comp, and it's the ghost comp is really tricky because it's essentially you're basically just playing for ult charge, and then whichever team can gain as much as many ultimates as they can, you can then like pull the trigger, grab, shatter, diva bomb, all that other good stuff, and it definitely seems like it's a very difficult comp to pull off. But it seems that if they can pull that off, I think that they'll have an easier time in the playoffs. I'm not sure when the playoffs are. I have to look. I'd have to look, but hopefully the team can participate and really show up and do well. They seem fairly confident, which is great. So here's hoping that they can, sweep the playoffs and get another EU Contenders Championship. In February, I believe the Overwatch League Season 2 starts. I am really excited for that as well. The London Spitfire, our Overwatch League champions, I think they're really grinding out. I think they're doing boot camping and stuff. I'm really curious to see how the team adapts to stuff, the changes from since the championship to Season 2. Goats Comp looks to be a pretty strong strategy, as well as I'm curious to see how Ash works. Prophet's a really good Brigitte. He's probably the best, or one of the best Brigs in Overwatch League, which is great. Prophet can play pretty much everything, so we shouldn't have trouble on that front. I'm interested also to see how our new players Guard and Krillin work. If it is a thing of, they're going to be being swapped out more due to hero pool, or if it's more of a substitution kind of thing if someone's hurt. I'm not sure, but I'm really looking forward to Season 2 to start. Hopefully, I think that we do some preseason stuff in January, because I'm really itching for more Overwatch League action. But, yeah, that's enough for Overwatch. I think my final... I have two more rambly things. I think the first is that Cloud9, I think, was awarded a few more Best Esports Team, Esports Organization awards, which is great. This has definitely been the year of Cloud9, surprisingly, considering these almost, like, catastrophic, really super rough start that we had in February, in the early parts of the year. We won the major, and then basically all of our teams sort of at once took a big nosedive, but then it looks like the teams really pulled it out and started to get wins and play to the expectations and the potential I think that the fans expect and kind of know that the teams have. So getting those awards is really great. I hope that for 2019, Cloud9 can really, you know, going off of this momentum, do even better. I'm hoping that they finish that practice facility of theirs. I think that the Cloud9 headquarters is especially important, not just from a brand thing, but just for the org as a whole. Just having one dedicated space to kind of do a lot of work. I think that being able to separate sort of like home life from work life, I think, is really beneficial to players. So hopefully they can get that squared away. The second rambly bit, I kind of want to talk about Smash Ultimate for a bit. I'm curious to see how the introduction of Smash Ultimate will affect the rest of the Super Smash Bros. Space. I'm not sure if this will affect how many people are interested in Melee. Everyone is really hyped about Ultimate. Ultimate, it looks really fun. I've played it a bit myself, and just doing single player, and it feels really good. I like just the incredibly large roster of people that you can pick from. So the questions I kind of have is like, how does this affect, you know, Melee, and how does this affect, I think, maybe like Smash 4? I would assume Smash 4 is just done. I think everyone's just going to move on to Ultimate, and no one's going to be playing Smash 4 anymore. But in terms of Melee, I'm curious to see, are Melee players going to jump ship and go over to Ultimate? Are people going to stay in Melee? Is the Melee space going to shrink? Is it going to be more fortified and kind of become stagnant, and no one leaves, but also no one like jumps in? So it's more of just the you know, the Melee veterans kind of staying in the same place, while new up-and-coming players basically just focus on Ultimate. I'm also curious to see what kind of talent comes into Ultimate. I would assume C9 gets an Ultimate player. I would be actually really shocked if we didn't, just considering this is like the big hot game right now, as well as there's going to be a large influx of people coming into Ultimate, not only from 4, but just new upcoming players. And I think with our brand recognition, I think we should be able to get just about any player. I think that C9 has a global reach now, pretty much. So, you know, say there's a really hot player from Japan or Europe or Brazil or wherever, you know, I think we shouldn't have to limit ourselves to who is the best North American player, you know, from America or Canada or Mexico, I guess. Mexico is North America. I think. Or that's not, I don't know geography. Okay. Wherever. So I'll just say North America. Instead of getting, you know, the best North American player, we should really just look who are some of the best players in the world, and then pick one of those people up. I think we definitely should get an Ultimate player. CNN's probably waiting for the scene to kind of kick off and some tournaments to happen before signing someone, just because, you know, you kind of have to do talent scouting, and the game has only been out for 3 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, so it's definitely still in the infancy of creating a competitive circuit. But C9 should definitely get a player. I'm curious to see who exactly they end up signing, as well as who sort of becomes the big faces, and what characters end up becoming super duper strong. I know Bayonetta is in the game, and everyone has a lot of issues with Bayonetta from Smash 4. I'm interested in seeing if those issues will carry over to Ultimate. I remember there was a tournament. I think it was at a PAX. I can't remember which PAX it was, but it was in a PAX, and it was basically two Bayonetta players went all the way to the finals, and people were so upset because Bayonetta seemed like this incredibly overly powered character, and so they were going to have none of it. So they just said, okay, if y'all are going to just do Bayo versus Bayo, we leave. So a bunch of the audience actually just left and refused to watch the match, which was interesting and also maybe a bit sad. You know, I think the players that did go to the finals, you know, I think they do deserve an audience because they did work hard, and they did, you know, they do put in the time to master that character. So I think, you know, you can be upset about it, but I don't think, you know, you should walk out. I don't know. It's a very iffy subject, but I think, you know, it'll be interesting to see if Bayonetta can if Bayonetta remains on top and just this stupid, overpowered character or not. But that's honestly it. There hasn't been a whole lot happening. Like I said, it is the holidays and it is the off season. We're not going to get a lot of big news, and we're not going to get a lot of big match results in concurrent match results until probably sometime in January to February, when things like Overwatch League and LCS do kick off once again. So don't, unless there's like some big breaking news, like we sign a few players or we get a whole new team in general. Don't expect a lot from us until then. So thank you for listening. In the meantime, we apologize for the lack of content for the off season, but thanks for sticking with us and listening. And I will see you next time. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at C9Bodied. Even though Jensen has left, we're keeping the name. That's our name. he doesn't get to use that phrase. That was our meme. We created that meme. I always feel uncomfortable when other orgs use memes from things that we have created from the time when our players were on our teams. The top die thing, for example, I don't think Liquid should use that. I feel like that was our meme. Also, Liquid shouldn't be able to use Bodied. They should not be able to use any variation of the body those fools meme, because that is our meme. That should be our meme, and that's our name. We're not changing it. So, then anyway, thank you for listening, and hopefully you can stop in again soon.